What is up? Today we're going to be talking about the car media and what makes modern car reviewers or car journalists quite bad. At the end we'll give you some references for some really good reviewers. Let's go. I know some of you will watch reviews and just take what they say as word. Most of you will be watching, Edmund, Top Gears, The Fast Lane Car, or Motor Trend. And today I'm going to say why you kind of really shouldn't. But anyways, let's just get into the first one, right? These cars that they get usually are from the car manufacturers themselves. And you know what happens? If they give an honest review that they don't like the car, they speak bad about the car brand, guess what? They're just not going to get any cars from them again. This is what happened with TFL Truck.
Same thing, because Ford just uninvited us from the launch of the F-150, the Bronco. They banned us from the press fleet, and they even stopped sending us press releases. So there we go, no more Ford.
So these car reviewers have to give a good review, otherwise they don't get cars from the manufacturer again. And kind of with that, there's also paid reviews, where a car company pays a person for the review. How is that fair? Or even, in the press events, where they'll pay for these journalists to be flown out, they'll give them free accommodation in a luxury hotel. How are they going to give a good review with that? Now, it's just something everyone does, because that's usually when you get your first hands on the car, and that's what people want to see, so fair enough, but just don't take those reviews as word. There's also brand bias, but the main thing, right, is objectivity. A lot of car journalists nowadays look for an objectively good car. This is a car that can corner at high speeds, it's not overly tail happy, there's no lag, there's no torque steer. But they don't realise that real drivers actually find that stuff pretty fun. An overly tail happy car. Or, as an example I've used before, let's say you're in a Mark V Golf GTI. You put your foot down, it goes relatively fast. You come in the corner, you turn in, and it turns. Or then you come to the Speed 3. You put your foot down, there's a bit of lag, it creates a suspension, and then the turbo comes in really hard, it feels really, really fast. Then the torque steer comes in, it yanks the wheel, and you have to be holding onto that wheel to keep it going straight. You have to be engaged. You come up to the corners, you're on the brakes, you can feel everything. It's exciting, you have to be engaged, it's just fun. Now some people won't like that, and that's fine. That's another thing with car reviewers, right? One reviewer might like one thing, but you might not like it. You might like something that they don't like. So you do have to pay attention when watching these reviews. There's a picture of a thumbs up down below, and I think it might want to turn blue, so you know how to do that, surely. But then continuing on, right? An objectively good car does not make a great car. I'll tell you what makes a great car. For example, an engine that feels special. This is one that revs up really eagerly. Its power delivery feels so special. The sound it makes resonates with your soul. I.e. the Lexus LC500 or the F-Type R. Another thing is a mechanical connection. A car where you can feel the road through the steering, the brakes, the shifter, the clutch. It feels mechanical. It's so satisfying to use.
You feel it. You feel what happened to the front wheels. Like the car was losing grip in the front left tire, and I could feel it in the steering column. I could feel it in my seat. I didn't have to guess. I didn't have to...
It's almost like you're actually driving a car, not on a simulator. Another thing, people rarely underlook this one, is an interior that feels special. Look at the LC500 interior. That looks handcrafted. It's so different, and it looks so good. It's inspiring. Then you look at its rival, the 8 Series. That interior looks like every other $40,000 BMW. In fact, it looks like every other interior on the market, with that stupid stuck-on screen, and the climate controls where they are, the vents, so uninspiring. The way a car drives can be special. You want a car that feels, light on its feet. You may have two cars that handle with the exact same capability. However, one car just feels a bit more light, a bit more eager, while the other one just feels a bit heavier and a bit less eager, even though they have the exact same capabilities on the corners. And then this one's the big one. An emotional connection. A car is truly great when it triggers emotions. If you look at, the LC500 review by the Straight Pipes and the Throttle House, they both just love it. It's just intoxicating.
Getting in an LC500, it feels different. It feels special. We've driven the M850i and M8 Competition, the Mercedes versions of the F-Types, all the other ones, and this has just got some different sauce.
This is when you like a car just because you like it. It just feels good. You just like the car, it's so nice. There's cars, of course, like the Hellcat, like I've said, the LC500, the GT3, the LFA, the F-Type R. Let's say this, an objectively good car, let's say the F80 BMW M3, I actually like this car quite a bit. This car is objectively amazing. It is fast, there's basically no lag at corners well. You can get this tail out if you want to. The interior is made to a high quality, it's got 4 seats. But you just feel nothing driving it. Not only mechanically, you can't feel it through the steering, the shifter just feels like it's straight out of a simulator. Or let's say you start to slide out, in a lot of amazing mechanical cars, you'll feel the rear end get loose. The engine will quickly rev up really fast. And obviously you'll see it going sideways, but with, an F80 M3, the only clue that you get that it's going sideways is that you can see it. You don't feel it. And driving it, it just doesn't feel that special. It feels like every other BMW, every other performance sedan. Its engine isn't that eager, the way it drives just isn't that eager, but it still is very good. See, the fun you get from driving an objectively good car like the F80 M3, the fun just comes from the capability, how good the car is. Not from it just making you feel amazing. And that's where we get into the discussion. Are you a Type A or Type B person? You see, a lot of people will find the most fun from a car that's just really capable. Whereas the other type are more focused on emotions. We're more excited by something that makes us feel good. Something we like. And that's truly what makes a great car. If it makes you feel amazing and you just really love it, you're obsessed with the car, it's intoxicating, that's a really good car. And one last point, before we get onto the reviews you really should be watching, is real-world knowledge. See, I'll tell you where you'll get the best reviews from. If you're wanting to buy a track car, talk to people who go to the racetrack every week. They'll say what you actually need in a car, what you should be looking for, what cars actually are good, because they know everything you could possibly know. Don't listen to some guy from Edmonds who's gone on the track maybe 3 times in his entire life. He will not give as good advice as the person who goes every single weekend. Same can be said, for example, with off-roading. If someone's only been off-roading twice in their life, they can't give a good off-road review, but if someone goes every weekend with their mates, they can give a good damn review of it because they know what to look for. And even just the lack of knowledge, you just can't track a stock car. You just really can't. There's very few that you can. A GT3, an Ariel Atom, but you can't track an E92 M3 or even an S2000. You gotta at least want brake pads, perhaps some discs, some fluids. There's also reliability. You see, a lot of these reviews do not care about reliability, and being Scotty Kilmer and all that, when a lot of people are buying cars, you want a car that's reliable. You don't want to waste an excess thousands of dollars a year just because the car's kind of junk. But now's the good part. Car reviews you really should be watching. Savage Geese. His production quality is insane. His understanding of cars is insane. He's the only one that I've ever seen that takes every single car up onto a lift and shows us under all the mechanical aspects. There's Matt Moran. He describes the way cars drive in such an amazing way, and he's such a deep car enthusiast. His reactions, really good guy.
Oh boy, here we go.
Everyday driver. They understand cars like a real driver does. They understand fun versus ability. Then there's the Straight Pipes. Again, high quality reviews. And they have real good opinions. They know what to look for. And lastly, auto expert John Cadogan. Now I know, first time I heard of auto expert, my ass. Man, I was wrong. He knows his stuff. He gives really good advice, and just all check them out. They're really good. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.